So to answer the question, how do we ignore our afflictions? We don't. Okay? That's the answer. We can't. We don't ignore our problems, global and personal. However, God doesn't want us to drown in them either. This will be a big buzzword over the next 5 minutes now, the word drown. God's great response in chapter 38 to 41 serves to lift me up. And that's what I was the evening of the 10th of March, 2009. I'm no longer drowning in my own specific problems and the problems of this world. I know they are there. I know I have to deal with it. But I'm no longer a slave to my problems and the problems of the world. I'm no longer a slave to sin, but a son of the Most High. So if indeed it is the end of the world as we know it, you know what I say? Bring it on. God's response to Job allowed Job, despite his afflictions, to consider a new perspective. God's perspective. Do you find yourself today drowning in sorrows and heartache? Have you had an opportunity to embrace God's perspective? I remember some years ago, my younger years, I'm trying to work out and get back to the younger years. My wife's a big advocate of that, and she's being very supportive. But back a few years ago, in my younger years, I did a lot of windsurfing. Actually did a bunch of it out of college, and then put it away, got it back out, and did some more windsurfing. And the thing you need to know about windsurfing, it's made up of a board that you stand on, a mast that pivots 360 degrees, a nice, wonderful, colorful sail, particularly a fork that wraps around the sail so you can grab it from this side or from this side. The wind's coming from my port, the left shoulder. If I'm holding it here and if I lean this mast forward, I go downwind. I lean it back, I go upwind. So there's good. Opposite, forward, upwind, downwind, that's all you need to know. Actually, it's a little more complex. Okay, part of it. The other part of it is that those are the mechanical aspects of it, by the way. The intangible aspect is the balance thing. So you will spend, just like you're learning to ski or snowboard or windsurf, you'll spend a wonderful, happy time in the water or sitting on the snow, wherever you like it, only to get back up. Hey, you learned snowboarding on shore, you know, it didn't really stick with Brandon on the snowboarding thing. Such a tease. But, you know, the point is the balancing thing. And when you're on a windsurfing board, this is what's happening. You know, there's all sorts of boat weights, waves, and everything. But by the way, after a while, that becomes very instinct. You just like, you know it's there. Your body's doing it automatically now. Now you can worry about, how do I go downwind? And that's how windsurfing works. So I'm windsurfing, beautiful, solid blow of air, ripping right down the eastern hill flank, right on Lucky Peak. And wildly enough, it didn't go away like it normally does. It just kept on coming. So I was up for hours, zipping back and forth, you know, in the main chamber at the base of the reservoir, and just having the time of my life. And of course, you know, doing technical stuff, and I'm coming around on a jive flank, and it's a deal where you kind of have to fling the fork around, grab on the other side, and somehow, can you believe it, I fell off the board. Which is, of course, not the first and last time. Done that plenty of times. But this time a little different. I fell off the board, I'm going, wow, where's the mast? Boom! Right on the top of my head. And this is an aluminum pole, which is like 30 feet long. I mean, this thing is, there's a lot of heavy aluminum pole coming down on top of my head right about there. And the next thing you know, I'm waking up like this. Wow, where's my board? That's my first thought. That was about 20 to 30 feet floating off there. I don't know how long I was out. But I will tell you this, the reason for the windsurfing example. Had it not been for the carefully crafted design with the life vest, I may have drowned. A good chance. I may have drowned. Indeed, it was the life vest. Now, I also like to believe that the Lord had a mission for me. The Lord was there too. But you had this life jacket. And what's the primary function of a life jacket? Save your life. And it does it by doing what? Well, yeah, making you buoyant. And that is, making you float, making you buoyant. And here it is the great picture, and here I get right down to the if you forget everything but remember this part, I will go home thinking, Lord, I did what you asked me to do. I took this message that I wasn't aware that I was going to do to the Experienced Church. I did it out of an obligation to him, but I also do it because I feel privileged and honored to stand in front of you and tell you about this. But this is where it all boils down to. The great victory. The entire point of the story of Job started to connect for me. When finally I looked at this, and I thought to myself, God throws Job a life vest. Job doesn't drown in the sea of destruction. And you know, when God gave him that life vest, it wasn't everything good again right there. He was putting Job in a space where Job needed to be. He needed to connect and refocus his perspective onto God. That's what we need to do today. You know, God throws Job a life vest. Job doesn't drown in the sea of destruction. Job is victorious.